Hi, thank you for joining me today. I'm here to share some knowledge about UC Davis. My name is Sarah Fales, and I'm an admissions advisor at UC Davis. So I work with prospective first-time freshmen, as well as transfer students who are interested in joining UC Davis and joining our community at the University of California. So today I'm going to share a little bit of knowledge about our campus and some statistics. So first and foremost, what we're known for. So we do have worldwide rankings, and we are #1 in the world for our agriculture, economics, and policy. So if you're interested in studying anything having to do with, sustainability, you should definitely look at UC Davis. And even if you weren't interested in studying, it's important to know that, because we have these worldwide rankings and we are a research institution, our whole entire campus is encompassed, with really being innovative with our agriculture, our research. We have a lot of programs on campus that students can get involved, student farms. We also have great volunteer opportunities and programs associated with majors in agriculture, economics, and policy. And then of course our campus is really sustainable as well. So I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on. But another ranking that we have is we're #1 in the nation for our veterinary science programs. So if you are interested in working with any kind of plant or animal program at all, definitely UC Davis should be on your list. We do have over 100 different programs on campus, some having to do with agriculture and animals, of course, but we do have a large amount of humanities programs as well. So we are a great mix, a STEM-focused research campus, but a wide variety of majors. And we'll go into a little bit more about that. But it is important to know that we are rated the third greenest university in the world. And that's really cool. So a lot of our buildings are built to code. We have bicycles on campus. On campus, our roads are actually closed off to cars, so you can't drive through campus. So majority of our students ride bikes. We have over 20,000 bikes on campus at any given day. And then we also have free transportation for our students as well in a program that we have that's actually run by students, which is really interesting. We were rated the 5th best public university in the nation. And the main reasons for this are all of the resources that we offer our students. We have one of the best study abroad programs. We have an amazing internship and career center that connects students, on campus with different companies, internships, jobs, in campus and off campus, really all over the world. But there's over 10,000 different internship connections that are created every single year. So it's a really great program. We also have a ton of different communities, and I'll talk a little bit more about the communities that we have on campus, but it's a great way to, meet other students, get extra resources, and then also meet other staff members and community members that are associated with that group or community. So just the programs that we have, it really helps students transition as either first-time freshmen, international students, whether you're living in California or outside of California. We have a great amount of resources to help that transition into UC Davis. So we are centrally located. So anyone who has not been to campus before, we do have 9 University of California campuses. So the UC campuses, there are 9 spread up and down, and UC Davis is the furthest most north. So we are located right next to our state capital, which is Sacramento. It's about a 20-minute drive. It's really close, but it's nestled right in between the Sierra Nevada mountains where Tahoe lies, and then the Bay Area. So it's about an hour-and-a-half drive to San Francisco. Wine country is about 45 minutes away, really close, Napa, and there's just a lot to do. So we're located in the Central Valley, which is really great too. If you're not familiar with the area, in California, Northern California, in the town of Davis, we have great weather. So in the summer months, you're looking at 80s, 90s, maybe even a few days of 100. And then in the winter days, you're really looking at the 40s, 50s, 60 range, during the daytime. And at night, it doesn't really freeze. We're looking at 30, 40. So it's a pretty moderate winter. Most days, we do have sunshine. It's California, so we're definitely the sunny state. And it's a great place to go to school. We do have other, just besides UC Davis, we have a lot of opportunities in Sacramento with our state capital. We have a lot of programs that our students will work at the state capital. We also have our hospital, our UC Davis hospital located in Sacramento. We have research facilities in one in the Bay Area in Bodega Bay. And this is a great place that students can, study, the saltwater and different animals. And we have really great internship programs, during the summertime where students can go. There's even a 6-week stay that you can stay on site and study and do, work really closely with professors doing research. But we do have programs that will go out there all the time. There's a bus that'll take students out there during the school year as well. If students are taking classes or just want to do some research and field trips. And then on the other side in the Sierra Nevada mountains, we do have research vessels and facilities in Lake Tahoe. So that's going to be more studying like the freshwater experience. Tahoe is a huge, beautiful lake in Northern California. Very popular destination in the summertime. The elevation is about, it's in the 7,000s, 8,000 range. And I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's high and it gets a lot of snow. So great destination for skiing, snow skiing, snowshoeing, snowboarding. We actually have a ski team at UC Davis, and they always rent a cabin somewhere in the Sierra Nevada mountains. And, it's a great place, and there's transportation to and from, so if you're interested in joining the ski team or this, you can do that. And it's just a great place to visit, even if you didn't want to be a part of the team. So a little bit about Davis itself. So the town of Davis has about 70,000 people. So it is relatively a small town. However, our campus is very large. So half the population of Davis, about 34,000, makes up our undergraduate population. So 34,000 is our undergrad population at UC Davis. So that is a very large campus. But what's unique about UC Davis is you get that really welcoming small town feel. We are known, every UC, has different personalities, and we're known as a friendly campus. So, it's a very large university, but, the downtown backs right into campus. So you get that great collaboration with restaurants and with businesses, that'll stay open late during finals. Everyone's walking around, mind you, like the blue area, students aren't driving through, right? So everybody's riding their bikes and through downtown, all around campus. Most of our students actually do live on campus, which would be in that blue area or perhaps right around the blue area. On the outskirts, it's very easy to get around. We have great transportation. It's free for students, as I mentioned before. And so it's just like, it's a really unique experience where you have this really large, worldwide known institution with all these great resources and, like I mentioned before, the 5th best public university in the nation for all of the resources and communities that we do have for our students. But then you're in this small town feel, really close to big cities like Sacramento and the Bay Area. But we are, in a sense, kind of like a little bubble, because in order to get to those areas, you're either taking the train or you can drive to the bus. There's a lot of different ways you can get there very easily, but it's separated by a highway. So you are kind of separate from like those big city crime in a sense. And I mean, UC Davis is very safe. We actually have our own police department and fire department on campus, as well as the city itself has that. And we have really great programs for students. We have one that's a safe ride program. It's actually run by the UC Davis police station. And basically, if you're out late at night, you can get picked up and taken to your destination or your dorm, wherever you are. And that's a free service to our students too. So not that anybody should be walking around ever at 2 o'clock in the morning, but it is a very safe campus, and you really could do that. Unlike maybe some bigger cities, you wouldn't feel comfortable doing something like that. So downtown Davis, it's very green, and we have a pretty flat terrain. We have a lot of trees all throughout Davis, and I'll just show you a few pictures. We have pictures of farmers market. Our population at Davis is very diverse. So we do recruit about 80% of our students from California, and then 20% of our students come from, either national or international. And so we have a wide variety and a wide diversity at UC Davis. So because of that, we have a wide diversity of different places to eat, different things to do on campus and off campus, a lot of different eateries. You can name just about any type of eatery that you can think of, boba tea, coffee shops, pizza, Thai food, sushi, Mediterranean, Mediterranean, really, you name it, we do have it. So that's one thing I do like to talk about the food on campus and around campus. A, it's diverse, but B, it's really, really good. So you'll be eating really well if you do come to Davis. These are a few more pictures of the downtown. It's very walkable. People eat outside. Again, I mentioned it's sunny most days of the year. Even in the winter, it's really mild. Boba tea. We have boba tea shops all over at the campus and around campus downtown. We actually have boba tea served on campus as well. But I had never had that before I came to Davis, and now I'm obsessed. I absolutely love it. But we have places to eat off campus. But we also have the dining commons. In the dining commons, you can get meal plans associated. Whether you choose to live on campus or not, you can still have a meal plan for you. And we have some of the best chefs on campus, and they will actually make meals for you. So if you have any kind of dietary restrictions, they can cater a meal plan specifically for you, which I think is pretty great. So you don't have to worry, about, picking and choosing what you can eat. And then the menus are always changing also in the dining commons. And another great thing about about this is it's not just a place to eat. There's also events that are going on as well. It's a great place to kind of mingle and hang out with people. So we do offer housing to our students. So for our freshman students, we have the residence halls. And then for our transfer students, we do offer transfer apartments, where essentially you can, and there's different housing options that you can choose. And I recommend that you go to our UC Davis housing so you can see all of the different residence halls that we have. There's 3 main residence areas, and then residence hall areas, which would be for our freshman students. And then within each area, there's like 12 to 14 different buildings. So you can get an idea of these, the space is very, very large. And then our housing for our transfer, there's a lot of different apartments. We do have a new area called the Green, which is most likely where majority of our students, our transfer students, do choose to live. Do note it's not required that you live and take, the UC Davis transfer or resident hall, the freshman housing. Most of our students do choose to do that just because of the proximity to campus. All of the resources are also available, of course, like the dining commons. And so the good thing about the Green too for transfer, it's a brand new building. So, it's really green. Environmentally speaking, I should say. And then, it's a brand new building, which is really great. And we're growing on to that as well. One great thing, if you're interested and we're coming to Davis, is we do have what's called living, learning, and shared interest communities. This is optional, but when you're filling out your application for housing, which would be, after, that's not when you're applying to Davis, but when you actually get admitted and say yes, you could actually choose to live amongst other students that have similar interests as you. So this is just one of the services that we do offer our students, and these are all student-run programs, so it varies year by year. I mentioned that UC Davis is very green. We have an arboretum, and then we actually have, it's about you can either walk, bike, or run. It's about a 3.5-mile loop all around campus. There is a lake. We have a redwood grove. You can see in the picture on the right. So it's a very nice place to kind of hang out, work out, or just, take a break in between campuses, or not between campuses, but between classes, or just hang out. We do have bikes all over. We have really great resources on campus. So if you needed to get your bike fixed, if you're anywhere on campus, there's all these stations all throughout that you can kind of, fix. And there's little tools that you can get your bike fixed and tuned up. We have a bike, it's called the Bike Barn at UC Davis. And it's a really great place to, get your bike fixed, or you can even buy a new bike. They can get you all set up. But we were rated the 2nd university in the country. Is basically, we got a platinum bicycle friendly award. So basically, UC Davis is a bike friendly town. It's really neat too when you come to campus, if you've never seen it. And you probably haven't unless you're in a bike town. But even the stoplights, you'll be stopped. And then once the light turns green, it's, to go. Normally for a car, it actually, the first signal is bikes, and it's like a little bike signal, it's green, and all the bikes go. And then after that, the normal traffic resumes, like the normal cars that would drive through. And this is around the campus. So very bike friendly indeed. I did mention before that we have the free transportation. It's called Unitrans. And what's great to mention about this is that it is a student-run program. So we do have an organization in our student-run programs. They actually manage multi-million dollars of different programs throughout campus. And so these are all voted on by students, and these are paid for by student fees. So Unitrans is definitely a popular one. If you're interested in getting a job on campus, there are a ton of different options, but driving the buses could be an option for you. So again, all run by students, so student employees as well. You can actually see these in the background. We have rec pools all throughout campus. Again, it does get hot in the summer months. It's a great place just to hang out. We have a couple pools on campus, but this is one of our newer ones. And we also have a great activities and recreation center. We call it the ARC. It's a big gym essentially. And it already rivals all other universities for being, well, it's really nice, but it's also really big. And then last spring, we actually added on to it. So you're going to find things like climbing walls, yoga classes. There's an indoor track, basketball, volleyball, racquetball courts, weightlifting, as you can see here, exercise areas. There's just a lot that we have going on. We are also a Division I sports campus. So if you're interested in either attending a campus that has Division I, and if you're not familiar, there are different types of rankings for different, colleges. And a Division I is one of the highest rankings that you can get. So it's a NCAA Division I athletics program. So we have a variety of different sports, but we also have, if you're not necessarily interested in participating in sport, we have club sports, which is also competitive, but less competitive than Division I. And then we also have a ton of a ton of recreational type of sports, which is really fun way just to kind of get to group together with students. And kind of blow off some steam, and whether you're competitive or not, a lot of different great ways to get involved. One of our unique well, we do have a beach volleyball team, but another unique sport that we do have that's a Division I team, and we actually are the only UC that has an equestrian center. So if you have lucky enough to have a horse, you could board it on campus, but we also have really good programs. So even if you weren't interested in horseback riding, you could learn how to horseback ride, but we have programs on campus, and we have a lot of programs on campus, and a lot of programs where you can work with the youth, whether you're working, you want to be a teacher someday and you're working in the child development centers. But we also have programs. There's a lot of variety. You can teach students how to, farm. You can teach students how to work with animals. And we have a lot of those programs. There's actually a program on campus it's like the Guardian Angels program, where you can, again, take riding lessons and you can work with horses. So a lot of great ways to get involved. Or you can be like myself, who on my breaks, I just like to walk over to the area and see the different horses and see the different animals that we do have on campus. And so that's an option too. We also have, like I already mentioned before, we have the top rated vet program in the world, right? We're second in the world, first in the nation. So you'll find people from all over that come to campus to bring their animals to get worked on for various reasons, or checked out, I should say. But we also have the Budweiser Clydesdales. If you've ever seen those big, beautiful horses, they come to campus too. So it's always exciting when they're there. You can always check them out. They're absolutely gorgeous. So you'll find them multiple times a year on campus. So our student farm. So another way to get involved, you can volunteer on the student farm. It could be part of your coursework, or you can just simply enjoy it. We actually do a lot of the food that we grow on campus. We do actually produce for our dining commons. So you'll be eating food that's grown on campus. We do try to be as sustainable as possible. So if it's not grown on campus, we do outsource with a lot of local farmers. And so again, just trying to reduce that carbon footprint. So there's a lot of things to do on campus, and I'll just kind of go through. I have a lot of pictures in here, but we have the craft center that you can make jewelry. It's kind of one of those work hard, play hard situations. We're already a world renowned institution, but we have a lot of resources on campus in ways that you can just meet people and blow off steam and just get creative. We have a gaming area, whether you like bowling, you want to play billiards or board games. There's a lot of different ways that you can get involved there. And then, of course, outdoor adventures. This is a great program we have on campus for anyone who wants to go, meet other students. We have really great, they have a Yosemite National Park trip. They do whitewater rafting, camping, hiking, and they'll just go all these different great places in California. And I was told by a student who worked here, it was essentially once you go once, you'll get invited to go back again and again and again. So again, great way to meet people if you want to just get out and about. And also another cool thing that they have is if you just want to go out with a group of friends or your housemates, you can rent gear from this place as well. And this is again on campus. So if you didn't want to go out with a group and you just wanted to rent gear, it's a great place that you can do that too. So I did mention before that we were top rated for all the different communities that we have on campus. I want to just share with you a few pictures really quickly, but it's great because no matter what community you connect with. It's really good to build those. So you should have, you should have different communities as far as like, whoever you're living with, maybe something related to your major. There's a lot of different clubs you can get involved in. And, it's just a great, have community centers on campus. It's a great way to build your network of friends. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that, right? Also, a lot of these services that we have, they do offer academic advising, tutoring, and counseling as well. It's just a great place to, they also have a lot of different programs offered, throughout the year. So just quickly, if you want to see just some of our centers that we have on campus, and I'll just click through just a few of them quickly. But again, all of these programs, they'll offer, additional resources for students. And again, we just have a wide variety of different programs. And I mentioned before, about 20% of our students are non-California or international students. And we have a lot of great programs for these students as well. So a lot, and not only for international communities, of course, but we have over 800 different clubs on campus. So a lot of great ways to get in, in touch. And if you're a transfer student, we have really great, transfer programs. It's definitely known, in the university world that, it's a little bit harder for transfer students, to transfer in. You have a short amount of time, but we have really great programs to kind of help you, get acclimated to all the resources that are on campus. We also have first generation initiatives too. So if you are a first generation student, first in your family to attend, we have a lot of great programs to kind of help you support. And again, this is just a few. Again, we have over 800 different clubs and programs on campus to really help support students. So I want to talk a little bit about our majors and how many we have. So we have over 100 different majors, and these are all housed in, they're all housed within 4 different departments we call colleges. And our 4 different departments are the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, the College of Biological Sciences, the College of Engineering, and then the College of Letters and Science. And the College of Letters and Science is actually our largest college. It has about 55 majors just housed within that itself. And so for all of these different colleges, with the exception of engineering, if you're applying as a freshman, you can apply it as an undeclared major. For our freshman students, about 80% of our students do end up changing their mind or switching their major. For our transfer students, we do ask that our students, they have to actually apply to a major and know exactly what they're going to transfer into, and make sure that they have, some of the courses that may be required completed before transferring in. And we have a lot of resources that can help you, with that. We have our internship and career center. I did mention this before, but you can see some of the main campus or main programs that we work with. So we are located really close to the Silicon Valley. We have a lot of local big companies that we work with, but also the internship and career center, along with housing all the different internships and jobs as well. We have career fairs. They also have workshops to help students with their resumes, interviews, and really it's a great program. So when you're on campus, kind of getting involved in internships, and then, kind of that transition into the real world. So you really have a lot of guidance, which is really important because you're going to college, to build a career and make networks and connections. And it's a really great tool to kind of help you foster those. And we have a really great study abroad program. You can also choose. A lot of our students do choose to do study abroad. We go to all 40 countries and or over 40 countries, I should say. There's a lot of countries, but all 7 continents. So different places you can go. You can either choose, your major and see what classes within your major are somewhere, what internships are available, or you can just, look at the different places that we go and see what's offered. So again, you can do internships or take classes. Most of the students will go during the summertime. It's just a popular time to go, but you can go during any of our quarters. So fall, winter, or spring, or summer, of course. So just a little bit about some admission statistics for UC Davis. So we do have our freshmen, we have about a 46% admit rate. And so our middle GPA ranges, this is a middle 50%. So our unweighted GPA would be about a 3.73 to a 3.97. And then the weighted, and this is specifically for our freshman applicants, weighted would be if you took any college courses or AP or IB or honors, you get like a GPA bump. And so that's what makes a weighted GPA. And those are those different ranges there. For our transfer admitted, so if you're interested in going to, most of our students will go to like a community college first and then transfer in, although you could transfer in from any university, but that GPA is a little bit lower and our admit rate's a little bit higher. So it's a 55.7% admit rate for our transfer students. So for our freshman admission requirements, freshmen do need to complete, basically essentially your high school requirements. So if you are a California resident, we do have very strict A to G subject classes that you will complete. Essentially, if you are a California resident, it's a 3.0 or higher. If you are a non-resident, it would be a 3.4 GPA or higher. Essentially, the best thing to take from this is to try to take as many competitive classes and as rigorous classes as possible to prepare yourself for college. Do note that we will be looking at your colleges, but we'll look at a lot of different things for our admission. So we'll be looking at your GPA, any test scores that you have. We'll be looking at any AP or SAT subject exams. This year, it's important to know that UC Davis will not be requiring SAT or ACT. So we will not be using that in our review process at all. So it's going to be really important to see any GPA, your GPA, but then also, did you take any honors coursework? Did you take any college coursework potentially? Where was your school located? What special, things did you do, participate in, awards? And so we really look at essentially everything having to do with you. We really look for a well-rounded student involved in a lot of different things. So a little bit about the application. You'll be including, again, your GPA, all the courses that were completed. If you're a transfer student, it would be your college coursework and not those high school required classes. Any AP or honors courses if you're in high school. If you're in college, you would include any AP or IB exams you may have taken. You do get college credit for that. And then any activities you were involved in. You also, list all of the different activities that you're involved in. And so this is a very short list, right? But we had asked that you give us more detail. So if this student were to give us a little more detail, it would look something like this. I raised 200 hours, or I worked 200 hours for a community service chair, and they were the chair. How much money they raised, whatever they did, right? They worked at a store, but how much did you work? The student tutored after school. They cared for siblings and grandparents while parents are at work, which shows leadership. And then they were also Mesa Club president. So these are just, some examples. Part of our application is also the personal insight questions, and it's a great way. So we don't have any supplemental material. So supplemental material would be a letter recommendation, from somebody. We don't accept those. Any kind of a resume, you won't be including a resume. And then students also, if you worked on a blog or had a website or a gallery or something like that, and you included a link, we're not allowed to look at those. Those are all supplemental materials. So instead, you're going to be, instead of like a resume, you would essentially put all that information that was on a resume into your application. There are spaces for that. But we have a personal insight questions, and it's a way for you to give context to your application, to describe what you're passionate about, struggles that you've had, educational opportunities. It's a great way for you to talk about the experience that you had, how you learned from that experience, and how that's going to apply to college. So these are short prompts. They're not big essays, but we have a lot of good resources online that you can kind of help jumpstart what you want to say. So there's going to be there's 8 different prompts available, and you'll be choosing 4 different prompts to respond to. A little bit about transfer admission. If you were thinking of going that route, it is a requirement that you complete at least 60 semester or 90 quarter units before transferring in. The overall GPA, to be competitive at UC Davis, it should be a 2.8 GPA or higher in order to qualify for admission to UC Davis. And then you'll be completing a lot of either your general education or courses for your lower division before transferring in. And we have a lot of great resources that students can see. And we have a great program. If you're a California student, you can look on assist.org. If you're going to a California community college, you can see what courses are transferable. If you take a college class that is not a California community college course, it's very common. Essentially, what you would need to do is you would need to look up the course catalog, and then you would need to look up, look up the course description from whatever university you took, and then look at the course catalog, at UC, and see if there's a comparable class. And generally, traditional, general, basic classes are going to transfer. General education type of classes, like a college level English class, would transfer. A lot of math classes will transfer, like a calculus course and things like that. A statistics course will be transferable. But classes that are just a little bit strange or a little bit different, you'd want to look at the course catalog, and that's how we evaluate. We don't do pre-evaluations for students, but that's how we evaluate. So it's no secret. We want you to know how you can evaluate for yourself as well. So if you are a transfer student, you'd want to create a TAP. It's a transfer admission planner. You can input all of your courses in there, and then know if you're a California community college student transferring in, or if you're from out of state and decide to come to a California community college first, very popular route to get into UC Davis. We do have a program with them called the TAG, and it's a transfer guarantee. So you can look more into the California community college system to learn a little bit more about that. So a little bit about UC Davis. It's rated the 5th best value college in the nation. And there's a lot of different resources. So if you're a California resident, we do have great grants and we can provide links for you to check out. And we also recommend all students, whether California or national, international, to check out our financial aid page for the different scholarships. Do note that when you do apply, your application is going to be a scholarship application, and you can select different scholarships that you want to be reviewed for within UC Davis. But do know that you can apply for outside scholarships, and we have great links, and you should apply. Once you apply to one scholarship, it's really easy to continue because it's going to be a lot of the same information for applying to multiple. So we recommend everybody apply for scholarships. It's just a great way to reduce some of that debt for for attending a college. Some important dates that we have. So some important dates are, of course, UC application, and to submit that is every single November. And then if you are a freshman applicant, we do give our admission notifications in March, and then transfer, it's in April. And then students have about a month to say if they want to attend, either yes or no. So another great thing to know is, during your application, you should also be, submitting your FAFSA or California DREAM Act application. And we recommend all students to, submit that information no matter what your income. So right now you can take a virtual tour, and I definitely recommend that you do that. You could also type into the chat UC Davis virtual events. We have events for future transfer students. We have admission presentations going on a regular basis. We have special transfer events going on. We also have lists of college fairs that we're attending. There's a lot of different things, resources for parents, and then for counselors as well. So again, the application does open up. It's open now, and then you always apply in November. So November 1st to November 30th is when you can submit that application. And then if you want to talk to somebody, reach out to UC Davis, the phone advising. So we are open right now from 10 to 2, and our general admission line is there. That's a great resource. You can actually reach out and talk to students, and you can ask them all about campus life. You can also look at our website. We have great resources too. But I want to thank you so much for listening to me. And then again, if you have any questions at all, we're here to answer questions. So just type in any questions that you may have, meet with us in the chat, and or reach out to the general admissions. You can also go online, and we have a button where you can submit questions online as well. And we are here. We're here to answer any of your questions. So again, thank you for listening to me, and hopefully that we can answer any questions that you have.